Lots of these things could be avoided, that we know. But now, what is important for many Ghanaians is going forward. How do we ensure we don't get into this situation again?
You see, we have two scenarios in front of us. The first question is, must power, demand, and supply always be in equilibrium?
Should it?
I believe no. We should always have more supply than demand.
Okay. Why?
Why? Because it takes 3 years to bring on a thermal plant. Why? Because the economy is expanding on a yearly basis. Why? Because we are all over the world looking for investment. So if somebody comes today to set up a factory, do we tell the person that, look, we have equilibrium, and so wait until the next 3 years when we bring in another? Do we ask them to queue? Or we must have power available for an investor to hook onto today if he wants? I think the better option is to have power available. The next question is, and other countries have done that, how do we pay for this power that we need as an attraction for investment? That is the discussion we've not had.
How do you think we should pay for it?
I believe the state should pay for it, which means the public. Basically, there should be a budget line. I believe there should be a budget line. We should not put that burden on ECG alone, because that is power that we need for strategic development. Today, the biggest security threat facing Ghana is youth unemployment. It's the biggest security threat. And therefore, in whatever we do, we should take cognizance of that. If somebody comes today wanting to set up a factory, are we going to tell the person to wait for 3 years? Is that what you think we should do? I don't think so.
So that budget line you talk about, you
so
said
that
we shouldn't put all the
state,
blame on ECG,
no.
all the burden on ECG.
Yes.
What should be the other sources through which we get this?
You know, the state budget must have a budget line, for example, as strategic power reserve.
This is a budget that is always in deficits.
Well, do we need it?
We need to balance our books too.
Do we need it? Are the books balanced?
They are not currently.
Yes.
And that's why we should be working towards it.
Are we not paying for this so-called excess power? Is it not the same budget? So what stops us if we properly streamline that? That look, at any one time, apart from the spinning reserve, which we must pay for, we should also have 200-300 megawatts as strategic reserve or developmental reserve. And there's a budget line and there's an explanation as to why we are paying for this. There's transparency, there's clarity. That is where we should be going. Other than that, this politicking, you did it, I did this, we lose the strategic vision. One of the challenges we have as a developing country is that we are not strategic. Development is not accidental. Development arises out of conscious planning and conscious implementation.
Okay.
Look, in 1924, 3 commodities accounted for 90% of Ghanaian exports: cocoa, timber, gold. Go and look at the 2020 budget. 3 commodities, and these commodities were exported largely in their raw state. 2020, 3 commodities account for more than 70% of our export earnings. Still exported largely raw: cocoa, gold, crude oil. It epitomizes our inability to be strategic.
Okay.
We haven't done anything different. We are too busy political nitpicking rather than thinking strategically. In the last 50 years of development, throughout the developing world, countries that have made massive progress are countries who have been forward-thinking. They are forward-thinking and they are implementers. When Nkrumah established Akosombo Dam, built the Akosombo Dam, we had the same arguments. We didn't need that amount of power. So let's be forward-looking. What is it? Look, we have iron ore deposits, huge deposits. How do you ever expect to turn iron ore into steel with that massive power? We have our bauxite deposits. And yet, we are in a hurry to shout that we are over-generating. And that is why in the industry we pay capacity charges. We must streamline. There's a need for streamlining. I'm the first to agree. Okay. How do we streamline? We streamline by having a technical conversation, an economic conversation, and then informing the people why we are doing what we are doing.